Hello, everybody. Welcome here to the Wine with Jimmy channel. Thank you for stopping by and welcome to this channel that focuses all about the wonderful vinous world that we can find ourselves in. And this is looking at a series here to help you understand Spanish wines more in great detail. This is actually focusing on an area of Spain called the Meseta Central. And this is an area in the center of Spain, below Madrid, on that lovely raised plateau, going from the Portuguese border all the way to Valencia. And it's lovely and hemmed in by mountains. Please do look at my videos earlier on in the series to discover things like topography and overall climatic effects here. So on this video, though, we are looking at the wines of Vinos de Madrid. So we're going to go through the capital city of Spain and the wines associated to it. So first of all, this area is a uni-provincial area with the capital city, of course, being Madrid. It's the largest city in Spain with a city population of just over 3 million, with the sort of autonomous region being about 6.5 million in total. It's the second highest capital in Europe at about 670 meters. And the wine area, so we've highlighted it here on this map, it's actually, that's an overall look of where it lies in Spain. And then I've highlighted that closer here on the right-hand side. But there is a newer area which is added into the northern section. So we find that we have 3 non-contiguous areas. So here's the first area, second area up here, and then this area here actually is 2 zones. So we have 4 subzones across 3 non-contiguous areas. So we're going to go through those subzones later. First of all, let's just get an understanding of the land here, the climate, grape growing, and of course the key grape varieties that one may find in this rather emerging part of Spain. So first of all, the really significant geographical feature here is the Sierra de Gredos. It's the mountain range to the west of the city of Madrid. It does not have its own denomination for origin of wines. And depending on the location of the vineyard, the wines may be labeled as Vinos de Madrid, which of course is what we're looking at in this section. But also you can find Mentrida DO, and that's within Castilla-La Mancha, Cebreros, or Castilla y León Vino de la Tierra. So there actually is quite a lot of complexity here about the different labeling that one can find. Now, this area historically produces inexpensive, high volume wines, but up to recent times, in the last couple of decades, there are a number of new producers who have established themselves to focus on quality rather than quantity. Of course, what we're really after. If you have any comments or questions, please do get in touch. Great to hear about your experiences in Madrid. Great restaurants, great wines, of course, and any bodegas you may love, any wineries you may love from this area. Please do comment on the video below. What about the climate here? Well, we find that we have, of course, a continental climate due to its location firmly in central Spain. But we have altitude, about 480 meters up to about 1,000 meters. This can provide a cooling influence and also a diurnal range, which is high. Both those things, the high altitude and diurnal range, mean that we have ability to retain acidity in the grapes and help kind of drive these fresh fruit flavors in the wines. Grape growing here, so the wines are mostly made from old vine garnacha, and the style of garnacha is notably different from many of those made elsewhere in Spain. And certainly if you then compare it to the sort of famous areas like Navarra, Aragon, and also La Rioja. So we tend to find that the wine style here is lighter in tannin, often with a lovely transparency, a real clear transparency with really decent acidities, often sort of medium to high, with fresh strawberry and cherry fruit. There often is a sort of almost a saline note to it as well, almost a graphitiness. And the wines are purer, not so much jammy. It's quite rare to find jammy or exceptionally ripe styles. They're normally much fresher. And given the sunny, warm days, alcohol levels, of course, will still be notably high. And many of the wines here are made in a low intervention manner, utilizing ambient yeasts with low levels of SO2. Typically, the wines are good to very good and are mid to premium price. Look out for the likes of Bruja de Rojas, Commando G, those kind of expressions. Grape varieties we should look out for. The most common white grape variety is Albio Real. It produces full-bodied wines with citric and floral notes with a medium to medium plus acidity. Fermentation techniques will vary, some being fermented and or matured in oak, where others are fermented on their skins. And please remember, Albino Real is not related to Albio Mayor, which we find up in the Ribera del Duero, nor, of course, is it related to Albarino. So subzones here. I'm not going through, by the way, Garnacha. It's been done many times on a lot of my previous videos, but of course the Garnacha here is very important. Subzones, so we have the area which lies to the southeast of Madrid. This is Arganda. And Arganda produces most of it. You'll see it's the largest area on our map, about 55% of production on alluvium, limestone, and loamy clay soils, focusing on the likes of Tempranillo, plus another grape variety called Malvar. Then we have the newer area called El Molar. This is an area added in 2019. And it's on real distinct amounts of decomposing slate in granitic soils. So here you get wines with a real marked acidity and a beautiful freshness, and also that kind of touch of terroir in the wine. Look out for brilliant Garnacha Tinta and more Malvar. The area then towards the southwest of Madrid is called Navalcarnero. About 1 out of 5 is produced here, and it's on alluvium loamy sands and Garnacha Tinta and Malva there as well. And then San Martin de Valdeiglesis is about 1/3 of production on same soils again, and here there's more famous for Albio Real and Garnacha Tinta. So there you are. Please do look out for these excellent wines. They are some beautiful pure expressions of Garnacha for sure in this area. Okay, let's have a look at a Google Earth video to get this into perspective. Let's go into central Spain and look at that large, expansive area called the Meseta Central there in yellow. We'll focus on, of course, the capital city of Spain, that is the beautiful Madrid, and we'll look at the gorgeous centerpiece here called the Plaza Mayor, which is a real must visit in the center of Madrid. This is the second highest city in, I think, in Europe. It's very significant in terms of its altitude. We are now going to focus though on the wine side of things. So first of all, of course, the DO Vinos de Madrid, which is about 8,400 hectares. It sits to the east of the Sierra de Gredos, and we have, of course, a very typical continental climate, and vineyards are typically at about 480 to 1,000 meters. We're going to focus on subzones. Here you are now looking at Arganda. This is about half of the production, and it's quite famous here for Tempranillo and Malvar. The second subzone, just going to the north of that, is El Molar. This is the newest of the subzones on wonderful amounts of granite, and we find, of course, beautiful Garnacha Tinta here and Malvar. Then we head down to the southwestern parts with Navalcarnero, which is about 1/5 of production, famous for Garnacha Tinta and also Malvar, similar to El Mola. And our final one is looking at the western section, which is just focusing now. That's San Martin de Valdegueses, and this is famous for about a third of production with Garnacha Tinta and Albio Real. Some wonderful wines to be discovered here in this area. That brings me to the conclusion of Madrid for DO Vinos de Madrid. Please do join me for part 7, which is the final chapter in our series on the Meseta Central, when we'll look at the hard and extreme area of Extremadura. And we'll focus on the DO of Ribera del Guadiana. So if you have any comments or questions, please do get in touch. You can do so by emailing. You can also get in touch by social media, or you can comment on this video below. Always great to hear from you. And if you find yourself in the UK, of course, please do come and say hi at one of my establishments for a class, a glass, or a bottle. I've been Jimmy Smith. Ciao for now. Bye-bye.